In a world that never stops talking, people are not drowning in darkness. They are drowning in noise. Not only noise in the world, but noise in the mind, where silence feels suspicious, even threatening. People think quiet is a luxury or a weakness, a void you must fill. Silence is not emptiness or a void. Silence is where we hear reality. Silence does something that modern culture does not want or will tolerate. Silence reveals, forces you to face what is true, what you avoid. Solitude exposes what you believe. Truth confronts the stories you tell yourself. In the silence, you hear you, not what you have been trained to repeat, not what you have been told to think, not what you are expected to say. You hear your motives, fears, your assumptions, excuses, beliefs, and what you avoid. If you stay in silence long enough, you hear something else. A call to integrity, the demand from conscience, and for anyone with faith, the quiet voice of God. We live in a culture where misinformation is not an accident, a constant stream crafted, packaged, and delivered straight into your hands, not only to confuse you, but to form you. The constant pressure to react, it conditions and trains you to be angry, afraid, certain without ever being clear. It breeds deceit, it breeds resentment, it breeds division, fear, and distraction. People will say they are self-aware or want to become self-aware. They will tell you they are or want to be authentic, but they cannot explain their why. If you do not know your why, you will borrow one. You will live by tribal slogans, trends, pressure, fear, and opinion-driven rage. But you will call it being real and aware. But it is only being reactive. In this series, I will look through two lenses, a secular lens and a Catholic Christian lens, because both matter, both in pursuit of self-awareness, submitting to the authority of sound reason, objective truth, authenticity, and knowing your why. Two lenses, different vocabulary, same pursuit. Through the secular lens, I will talk about attention, secular reasoning, discipline, clarity, honesty with self, and the act of testing your beliefs against what is objectively true. Through the Catholic Christian lens, I will talk about prayer, conscience, discernment, virtue, and the interior life. Truth that does not change, ordered love, and humility. I will talk about God because God is not a hobby. God is the highest ultimate good, the summum bonum. God is truth and love itself. My name is Jerry. This is a Former Hermit and a Podcast. I am an author, a certified life coach, and a former seminarian. I spent most of my adult life working in corporate America, and for a time in my life I lived as a hermit while discerning the priesthood in the Roman Rite Catholic Church. The experience profoundly changed me, not because it was romantic, fun, or easy, but because it revealed the truth, forcing me to look in the mirror and see myself. It revealed me with direct, raw, open honesty in undeniable, clear conviction about who and what I am and was as a person and human being. Living as a hermit molded and changed me into a very different person. In the process, my life became properly and well ordered. with clarity to see the objective truth, become self-aware, authentic, and submit to the authority of sound reason. The desire to write my memoir, start a life coaching practice, and podcasts was born out of the time in silence and solitude living as a hermit alone with God. If you are here for noise, opinion-driven rage, and political spin, you're in the wrong place. This podcast series is a place to come to slow down, find silence, recover, learn how to think, discern, live in truth, and quiet enough to hear your own thoughts. For anyone of faith, secular, lost, confused, broken, hurting, or searching. Anyone who is exhausted from being distracted, overstimulated, and overwhelmed. For anyone who feels the only way forward is not more opinion-driven rage and information, but having clarity, a sense of purpose, and living with conviction, being at peace. We will explore how to disconnect from the chaos, confusion, and insanity without escaping reality. Learn not what to think, but how to think. Because when you know how to think, you have mental clarity and you begin to live freely. Authenticity in the truest and deepest sense is the alignment of your life with what is objectively true. Because you cannot become self-aware if you are not willing to face the truth and what is real. Let me clarify as to not confuse or mislead anyone. This is not about persona. This is not a performance, not a product shaped by the pop culture, but being a real person, grounded in truth, self-awareness, and free. Here are my foundational axioms. Authenticity comes from and in knowing your why. You know your why only by being self-aware. Self-awareness comes only from objective truth. Objective truth and what is real are found in silence and solitude. The silence and solitude can open the door to let the authority of sound reason lay claim to the intellect. Only then can you know and understand what you actually believe, love, and what you are actually serving. The central and foundational question of this series: what happens when you get quiet enough and long enough to hear reality? And when you hear it, what does it require of you? Because objective truth is not only an idea, it is a standard. And a standard is not comforting. A standard corrects you. It confronts you. It orders you and lays claim to your intellect. That is why people avoid it. In this series, I will look through both lenses. I will talk about how and why to turn off the noise, what happens first when there is silence, what you hear first, what the noise really is, and how information, misinformation is forming and shaping your mind and why it is so addictive. I will talk about practical and simple ways to learn how to turn off the noise, reclaim you, your mind, thoughts, how to think, and learn your why. We will walk together and explore ideas that can and will change your life so you can live with conviction and at peace without fear, confusion, and doubt. Please join me next time as we begin the journey. I will talk about how to turn off the noise. If anything stirs a thought, a question, a suggestion, or even a disagreement, leave a comment below. Please subscribe and hit the like button. Share this with someone who needs quiet, clarity, and truth without the noise. You can find my book, coaching details, and additional resources on my website linked below. Until next time, write this down and remind yourself often through your day. Just because the world around me may rage in chaos, confusion, and insanity does not mean I have to. Take a few minutes, sit down, take a long, deep breath, relax, be still, quiet in the moment, and feel it. Just one moment at a time. My name is Jerry. This is the Former Hermit and a Podcast. Thank you.